All right, you're welcome back to COVID-19 update on MITV, and I still have with me Lola. We are going to move down to our discussion today. Today we'll be looking at, we'll be assessing the federal government's strategies so far in response of COVID-19 since the inception. And we have with us Mr. Akin Fatunke. We'll be doing justice to our discussion today. He is a communication consultant and also a public affairs analyst. Good evening.
Good evening, Kemi. Good evening, Nigeria.
Lola is also here. Good evening, sir.
Okay, Lola. I'm happy. Lola, how are you, Lola?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing, sir?
I'm trusting that you are keeping safe.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Nice to be here.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. All right, we are looking at how Nigeria. Let's start from how Nigeria has fared so far in the response to coping the spread of COVID-19.
Excellent.
I don't think you need real science or arts, for that matter, for you to realize the fact that we haven't done well. I said so. Our policymakers have said so. The average person out there on the streets have said so. Actually, inwards and outwards have also attested to the fact that we have not done well. And I will tell you, we go into a bit of a history to see why we have not done well. And that is the scientific. In 2017, the World Health Organization, their joint external evaluation, or what I will continue to refer to in this brief discussion as JEE, for all countries, including my dear country, Nigeria, that we should submit a detailed test or evaluation to look at how we can prevent, we can detect. Generally, 2017 was slight years ahead of when we had COVID. Yes, Nigeria participated diligently and dutifully, but I like to say when the results came, as far back as 2017, we saw our scorecard. Our scorecard indicated that we are really not ready. How? In the category of prevention, Nigeria scored 1.9 out of the 15 that the JEE tested us on. Not very poor, but poor enough. Nigeria scored slightly high, was in the category of detection. By detection, how is it possible for us to detect that we had a pandemic? I guess based on the fact that we had done Ebola and we had done a few things on Lassa fever, we scored 2.6 on 13 areas that we were tested on. And then in the area of responding, that is where we scored the least. It was so bad. We did 1.5 out of 20. That was said to us at that time is the fact that Nigeria is not ready. Unfortunately, from 2 years after in 2019, by October, it dawned on us that we are not ready in terms of prevention, in fact of detection. As we speak today, after a lot of leaping and leapfrogging, we are capable of 2,500 per day, and I tell you that's our capacity. But I can tell you, on average, we do about half of that. The testing kits are just not there. Yes, we've been given quite a lot by international donors. I'm happy to also say that our speakers, as of yesterday, I got a very good news. The good news that the Indian community in Nigeria are going to be setting up an isolation center in Ajao Estate.
That's a good news.
All others have been tested to the full, to the brim. As a matter of fact, we are having a bit of more of the deaths, over 700 moving on to close to about 800 as we speak now, basically because the attitude of the health workers, get me right, the health workers are doing their, especially in some areas, but they are not only overwhelmed, they have lost their lives in the process, and they were about going on strike some time ago because they said they had not been paid their allowance,
their demands are not met,
which we had fought before now as of 2017.
Yes.
The hazard allowance for the average nurse or doctor, should in case anything happen to you, is 5,000 naira per annum. It is so hard. You cannot even begin to look at it. Okay, yes, in 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari, after a lot of pressure, came about it, and then we are going to pay. But we are not looking at Lagos as not just the index case, but at least the only and about state that we can even show. Yes, they've done quite a lot. A lot of talk was made and stuff like that. Quite unfortunately,
yes,
you, me, myself, my fellow co-anchor, and so many other Nigerians did not cooperate in the way and manner that they prescribed that we should cooperate.
We should cooperate.
Yes. So, unfortunately, it has not happened. I also like to quickly say to you that Nigeria has not been static. You know, we have this, what do you call it now, fire brigade kind of thing. Since January, of course, quite a number of things have happened. Yes, the economic stimulus bill. On March 24, the House of Reps came up and put on the economic stimulus bills that they were going to give 50% tax rebates to all companies that registered on CAMA. That is the, not all companies.
All right, thank you so much for that analysis from far back as 2017, where you started with
we have been our rate card as regards how we have fared so far. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about the area of enforcement. The use of a mask. We know that there's some part of the country whereby they have been told that it is a criminal offense if they are not making use of the mask, and while some other part of the country says that whoever is not making use of the mask will pay a fine or the other. But then looking at Nigeria, how do you see Nigeria's response strategy as regards enforcement?
Kenny.
Yes.
We are on national television. And it behoves me to tell you the truth, the basic truth, and the honest truth. We are joking. Both those who are prescribing and those who it is being prescribed for. Right from the onset, people have not taken those non-pharmaceutical prescriptions seriously. Yes. When it started in January, February, when the index case came, and by March, people kept on saying it's not our portion. It's not our portion. Even the people that prescribed were not showing good examples. And so everybody just went to bed. So by the time we now woke up to it, and then we now realized that it was on, the religious leaders too began to propose it. They began to now look at it. Oh, please open us up. Do this, do that. Okay, even if you are going to open you up, there are certain things, protocols that you should face. That social distancing, even in Lagos, that is supposed to be the center of excellence.
Yeah, which is also the epicenter of COVID-19.
It's not happening. And I can tell you, the only places we are going to get people that are putting on the face masks and what have you is when they want to do a television show, or they want to just a couple of things. Go to the market. I queued at the bank for about 2.5 hours today. And somebody told me, a young man told me, please don't tell me anything about COVID-19. It's as bad as now. My saying that we have not complied is not an admission that we should not use it. It's still a way to go about it, and WHO has also said that the face shield is not enough, has to be used to And we must continue to just preach that message. It looks to me that the only thing that is going to prove to the average Nigerian, and God forbid, is when people start to fall down, as we are finding in Florida, as we are finding in India, as we are finding in Brazil.
And we pray we don't get to that point.
But we are already inching there. And I remember, Kemi, I told you about 1.5 months when we had a discussion like this. You had asked me a question of our death rates. As at that time, our death rate was about 300. And I said, death rate, I said we should multiply it by 2. And multiply whatever you get by 4. Why? Because of our under testing, people are not subjecting themselves to tests. We are not seeing good examples. Our beloved Minister for Foreign Affairs is the latest to test positive. We are not true to say he has gone into an isolation center and he's tested himself. Akin, our governor in Ondo State, fell foul to it. He was being treated at home. So what message is now being sent to your average people? The thing is not there, Jerry. And if it is there, we don't hide under our houses and begin to use that book. It now becomes a major disaster. And the death that has occurred, and I can tell you, Kemi and Nigeria, the death occurred, about 150 that has occurred, has been last minute, rush there, no beds, everybody afraid, and people gasping, even in the vehicle that conveyed them to centers, and they gave up. One person that was, from what I heard, was about to give up and said, he said it in Yoruba, but I will translate it to English. I'm already going away before I tell everybody that this thing is real.
Sure it is.
Okay, so last we were talking about the strategies by the federal government to curb the spread of coronavirus. And one of the major ways a few months ago was going on a total lockdown. And then at some point, the government had to ease the lockdown.
Do you that the easing of the lockdown was a bit too early, or do you think we should have gone a bit longer to curb the spread of the virus?
My dear, it's the choice that we made.
Okay.
The choice, not having your cake and eating it. Okay. Yeah, true. We moved along with the rest of the world to do a lockdown. It is also true. We must be honest to ourselves that the lockdown was relaxed because people said you either do that or that they are going to die at home. It now became an issue of between the deep blue sea and the hard place. All right. Okay. There is no way for you to do a lockdown. And for those who did lockdown, they had data they were able to capture to be able to give what we now call palliatives.
Okay.
I'm shaking the table, and I would rather shake the table. There were no palliatives. All right, I don't know data. We didn't even know who we were going to give. Reason being that we had quote unquote stolen ourselves blind. We had not just stolen ourselves blind. We had not looked at all the things that we needed to look at, and people, we don't even know who is who, where. We didn't know when charges were coming to attack us from the Maghreb and and the Sahel region. We didn't even know when so-called bandits were crossing the Sahel lines down to the south, and then the farmers the pastoralists started fighting, and so many lives were lost. We had no response to that, so we didn't have data. Having said that, so people now then said, please open up. That's okay. We are going to open up, but please, when we open up, please put on your face mask, your normal washing. We are going to start with the markets. We are going to, markets, and then you and I know that people now then say, why should you open the markets and not to open the clubhouses? Why should you open the markets and not open the mosques and churches and stuff like that?
Yes,
so,
yes.
A jambalaya of sorts. So, my dear that asked that question, that was it too early? To have done that? We had no choice but to do it. Because if you kept on putting people at home, see what happened in Lagos. The 1,000 boys march were beginning to now attack.
1 million boys.
Yes, yes, thank you. We are going into homes and going to destabilize. And they will ask, why? They said, because we are hungry. Okay, all right. So let's do a gradual thing. Who are not going
All right, finally, before we let you go, in a nutshell, taking a look at the state's response to COVID-19 in individual states, and the BTF has said that the state government should actually take responsibility of curbing the spread of COVID-19 in their own states, and they actually make laws by themselves to a certain extent. And looking at each state, how far they fared, and looking at Ogun State, which presently says that they have decided to replace striking doctors with volunteers. Do you think that was actually a good idea from that state? And in a nutshell, how do you think the state have fared? Looking at Lagos State, the epicenter of COVID-19.
Lagos State, I will always tell you, okay, have bread better than none.
One quarter bread better than absolutely nothing. I am happy kind of response we had. Okay, I'm happy with the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and Akin A1 response. However, they responded, we are going in front, they looked behind them, they didn't see you, I, and fellow Nigerians. That's number one. Number two, when we had a lockdown, I am aware that so many people, and I'm sure you had it, many people, the Almajiris, were being smuggled.
Yes.
Were being smuggled to some other states of the Federation. As I speak with you, now that there's no lockdown,
yes,
the smuggling is not just a matter of being abated, even after being debated, by opinion molders. That institutionally, you cannot just pull people down. It's still being done. So Lagos has had to do something. It's like to have 50 naira where you actually need 150 naira.
Okay.
On the face of it, you say, oh, it's not being done. In Yoruba parlance, you say, it is just not sustainable. That is one. Two, you also have states that, as I speak with you, Kogi states, they don't have coronavirus. Cross River State, there's no coronavirus, but I listened to the Commissioner for Health yesterday. Very, very instructive. Say yes, we now have one after a lot of denying, and said we are now for the federal government to give us some assistance. Point I'm trying to make is when money is involved, people tend to want to do what they need to do. When this money comes, it is not really judicially used. So Lagos State, the one about Ogun State, again, is saying rather than not do anything, talking about volunteers.
Yes.
Volunteers are coming in because we had not done what we need to do to those who are not going to volunteer. What makes you think that you don't get your acts together? The volunteers too, they know how they are going to be able to hold you by the balls. We must learn to have the capacity, we must learn to have the character, we must learn to have the competence, and above all, learn to have the compassion as leaders to say the truth, come out with the truth, put examples out there, and then act. Very, very important.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Fatunke, for that analysis. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Please, let's keep on keeping safe.
Yes, definitely.
Face mask is the solution. Hand washing is still the solution. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. Fatunke. All right, Lola. Mr. Fatunke said so far, he has really said a lot, and it's quite impressive that he has been able to analyze and look far back as 2017 as far how far we've fared and looking at our rate card. But then he said that they reported that we haven't fared so well, and 2017 looking at 2020, we're battling with COVID-19, and we have still not yet done a lot.
Yeah, you know that even all over the world, they looked at how we our response to crisis like this, and so far so good. Even international bodies have said that Nigeria and some other African countries, particularly Nigeria now, is not doing well, especially in some areas, testing, enforcement, and all of that, and so much more needs to be done. And the question begs, like if, for example, if they are talking like this at this time, they might, because in some article that I saw, that we might need to come in, that how much more of international assistance does Nigeria need before they could get their act together.
That's it. You really your point, Lola. All right. Again, we need to stop stigmatization so that we can get more people to come out to test for COVID-19. There's so many people who have symptoms of COVID-19 and they've been unable to come out, all in the name of stigmatization. Please, it's our time we continue to take responsibility and also stay safe and also make use of our masks. And the Lagos State government has made it compulsory that everyone should make use of the face masks, especially when they are in the public, they're in a crowded area. Let's make use of our masks. Like I used to say and I will continue to say, is the fact that the virus does not move. We humans move the virus. So let's please try as much as possible to stay safe. I am Akin. Your final word, Lola.
Well, I'll take everybody to take responsibility. As much as the government are trying to do their part, it's on us, the populace, to also do our part by taking responsibility and adhering to guidelines and instructions. Do everything as much as possible. Wash your hands, hand sanitize, because that is the only way you can, stop the spread of coronavirus at this time. There's no vaccine, and of course, as a result of that, we must do everything to take responsibility and avoid getting infected with coronavirus.
Definitely.
I am Omolola.
All right, many thanks for joining us on COVID-19 update. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, same time on the MyTV. I am Akin once again. Have a wonderful evening.